All right. So then, lesson 4 speaks of have total transparency on financial matters. This is a big one. Finances, have total transparency on financial matters. I don't know who will go first.
Agnes,
I think we've, I can't say we are blessed. I think we are that way wired, the two of us. He is a very generous man, and both of us come from very big families.
Okay.
When we moved to UK, most of those people were in schools, and when you're transparent, then you don't have to hide that you've sent money to your young sister because she needs this. It's
Right.
something which you can discuss and say, oh, this person needs this money, or this one needs that money. So together, you are making those decisions together.
Right.
And at the same time, it's not tit for tat. It's where the need is.
Ah.
Then you do help
Right.
together.
Right. Right.
It doesn't have to be a competition saying, oh, this we've given to your family so much, therefore we need to give to my family so
Right.
much.
Right.
And on the other hand, I think, again, both of us have been so blessed that both families, most people in the families are doing well.
Okay.
So I think, and because of that, I think there hasn't been so much of
Pressure.
pressure.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I think, as you said, I mean, financial matters can also create friction within a marriage, because you hear these days of marriages where they have a prenuptial agreement, which is totally ungodly, because as we've already said at the beginning, at the top end, when
Yeah.
we started with the first lesson,
Yeah.
our intention is that this marriage is going to be there forever.
Yeah.
So why would we need a prenup?
Yeah.
And so what we have done is we've always had a current account.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
For many, many years.
Okay.
So whenever she got paid, it goes in the same account. When I get paid, the amount goes in the same account.
Yes.
And so there was a sense in which we both knew just how much we had and how much we didn't have,
Okay.
as the case
Yes.
may be.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And I think it links also into the trust we mentioned in lesson 2.
Yes.
Because part of the reason you say, okay, you have your own account and I'll have my own, apart from the logistical one, sometimes it's just that you don't trust how she's going to spend this money.
Right. Yeah.
And I actually think, when we talk about the woman in Proverbs 31,
Yes.
The famous woman.
Yes.
In fact, she's quite, for today, she's quite, what's the word I'm going to say? Very relevant, because
Yes.
one of the things that, what it says, I think it was in verse 10,
Yeah.
where it says that she is more valuable than rubies.
Right.
Ruby 40,
Oh, I see. Okay.
This is where I'm at.
Ruby.
Yes.
Okay.
She's more valuable than rubies.
I need one.
She didn't get any, because I think she's more valuable
40
than
is a ruby
rubies.
anniversary, right? Yeah.
But what I was going to say about that
Yes.
woman is that, we all concentrate on the things she does
Huh? Yeah.
and how she is such an iconic
Yes.
example of what a married woman who is really ideal should look like.
Yes. Yes.
But I think it's in verse, I think it's in verse 20 or 23, somewhere there,
Yeah.
where it says her husband trusts her fully. He has
Yes.
every confidence, I think is what it says. He has
Yes.
every confidence in her. In other words, there is also, she's spending a lot of money. She's if
Yes,
you read through
buying
there,
land,
she's buying land.
trading
Yeah.
with people.
She's spending a lot of money.
Border trader.
But her husband trusts her. He's
Right.
not bothered. He's actually sat somewhere
Yes.
on the council deliberating whatever
With
men
the
deliberate. Yes. So he's not bothered about that. But I think that's important,
Yes.
If I'm always looking over my shoulder, thinking, I wonder where she sent all this money.
Whenever an SMS sounds, the heart skips a beat.
Exactly.
Hey.
And so I'm having to ask, so this money, what happened?
Yeah.
You know? And you know, Agnes is, maybe she's not so bothered about the way I'm spending money also, because there's been times when I spent a lot of money and she hadn't noticed.
Okay.
Because, and when I've told her that, you know, like we have been building a house in Lilai.
Okay.
And I bought a kitchen.
Okay.
And we discussed the kitchen.
All
but she didn't know I bought it.
Okay.
Until I mentioned that the kitchen is arriving on this day. So, but that's partly because she doesn't every time go through the bank account, you know? I mean, I do get, as you say, you get an SMS. Every time something happens to the account, I get an SMS. But when you've got 1,000 SMSs, you ignore about it. You don't look at them anymore because, you know, whatever they are, they can't be serious. You know, they cannot be serious.
Yes,
so,
that trust.
So I think it does link into trust. Yeah, where there is no trust, then there is. I mean, people have different reasons. I'm not saying everyone should have a joint account. I mean, there are different reasons why people want to have separate accounts.
Yes.
I mean, in the first few years after we married, we both had separate accounts.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, but when we bought a house in the UK, we needed the money to come out of, for paying the mortgage, to come out of an account. We just had a joint account, and so the money came out of that account to pay our mortgage. And that's how we maintained. And I think it has helped in that area. We've never really had a problem which is based on finances.
Right.
Yeah. We've had problems, but not fundamental ones where we're thinking, gee whiz, you really
just
ruining
run out
the
of
money.
the money.
Swiping at the till. What's going on?
So I think it is very much a trust thing, and I think that's what I would say why it is important. Very much linked into lesson number 2.
Yeah. I think for me, one underlying lesson that I see running through, considering you've been married for 40 years, is also the aspect of not taking each other for granted. Yes. I think reading between the lines, I'm seeing that, because I think human nature, it's easy to just sort of, 40 years, take each other for granted and say, who needs shared interests, and, if you finish, we have arrived.
But it is like giving your life to the Lord. You don't do it one day and then you sit back. You are continually learning, you are being renewed and being made more and more like Christ.
Yes.
And so we are being made more and more like each other as we become, I don't know if she likes the idea of being like me, but I do like the idea of being like her. Yes. So, I think it isn't something that you learn your lessons on day one when someone witnesses to you and you throw away the book and says, now I'm born again. No, but you're continually learning. And I think it's the same with marriage. You have to continually learn. So, we can't take each other for granted because we are a fallen people.
Yes.
And that is why we needed Christ. Otherwise, if we could do all these things on our own, why would we need Christ?
Right.